Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Why Pursue MSc Biology at Ashoka? I am Niyati Gadepalli, and I am a first-year MSc Biology student here at Ashoka University. Joining me today is one of Ashoka's most distinguished faculty members, Professor Kasturi Mitra, who is an Associate Professor of Biology here at Ashoka University. Welcome, Professor. Before we begin, I want to inform the audience that the applications are open for the master's program at Ashoka University and that the deadline to apply for the MSc Biology program is the 21st of March 2023. I would also like to request our audience to kindly type any questions that they might have into the Q&A box provided, and we will address these towards the end of the session. Without any further ado, let's get started. Professor?
Okay, I'll share my screen. Is this visible, Niyati?
Yes, Professor, the screen is visible.
Okay, all right. Welcome, everybody, and we'll get started and others may trickle in, but we'll go slow for the first half an hour, telling you guys about our program, which is the MSc Biology program at Ashoka University. And then I believe there will be a Q&A session where we will take up questions and deal with matters in more detail based on the interest of the audience. As Niyati said, I'm Kasturi Mitra. I'm a DBT Wellcome Trust Senior Fellow and an Associate Professor of Biology at Ashoka. I coordinate the MSc Biology program, which started last year. So Niyati is from the first cohort. And we are actually expecting the next cohort to come up this monsoon. I also hold an adjunct faculty at the genetics department in US, where I started my own career and moved to Ashoka last year. So Ashoka University is basically a liberal arts and sciences university, which integrates education and research in the best possible ways. So when we talk about liberal arts, as it is known in the rest of the world, liberal arts is a concept that includes sciences. But since it's a new concept in India, pioneered by Ashoka here for education, we decided to include the sciences because it's a foreign concept to India. But inherently, liberal arts concept is an interdisciplinary approach where there are no silos between arts and sciences. So if you hear of liberal arts anywhere else, that would actually mean sciences as part of it as well. It's just a philosophy of studying various disciplines without any silos when disciplines crosstalk with each other seamlessly. So to be able to deliver a liberal arts kind of education, Ashoka provides students with a foundational knowledge which crosses from very deep core humanities to hardcore science, and then that allows the students to get a wide variety of knowledge as well as disciplinary depth in the following years of education. So that would be the way the undergrad system at Ashoka developed. And at the graduate school level, where various master's discipline belong, since it's a smaller, since it's a program only for 2 years instead of 4-year undergrad program, we try to maintain the same ethos and same principles of having the students to understand a wide expanse of biology. And how biology crosstalks with other disciplines, as well as in the following years, the students will take it to greater depths of a particular choice that they want to develop their interest on. Another aspect, very critical one, is to let the students cultivate critical thinking, which is at the core of liberal arts values. Without critical thinking, we will not be able to marry different subjects, which is at the core of interdisciplinarity or multidisciplinarity. So to be able to think about anything critically is of utmost importance in Ashoka's education. And of course, without having people from diverse backgrounds does not suffice the tenets of interdisciplinarity or multidisciplinarity. So that's how Ashoka educates by bringing people of different areas together and training students towards the same goal, which is to interdisciplinarity. And then the students will take it forward based on their own research and interest. When I say research, I want to emphasize that Ashoka educates taking research as a core value. The master's program that we have developed is absolutely research intensive. So it is basically a small PhD program. So a PhD usually takes 5 years or so, 4 to 6 years, depending on the place where you're doing PhD from. So our master's in biology program basically is a PhD program within 2 years. So it will take you through all the processes of a PhD program, but within 2 years. So that gears you up for PhD going forward, or any other areas where you may want to use the research experience that you've gathered in 2 years for other things. So why would you do a master's program at Ashoka, including, a master's in biology? Ashoka started as an undergrad school where research and education was integrated, and then started various master's program. So first and foremost is that the educators are the best in the world in their fields. And they develop very innovative courses with innovative pedagogy, which is very different from rote learning of other universities that you may come across in India. Ashoka ecosystem is very different again, because again, as I mentioned, that the various disciplines come together. Students are very interested in various activities other than academia, and then they try to experience life as a whole. Even beyond academia. And sometimes, academic and non-academic relationships become very interesting. For example, tonight we are going to have an evening organized by, a discussion evening organized by the Biology Society, where students and faculty meet together and discuss various things under the sun, okay? And starting from, building their careers, their problems and whatnot, okay? So cutting edge research, as I was mentioning, that research is at the core of Ashoka education. Masters in biology, as I'll tell you more about in the upcoming slides, has research as the very core component. One whole year is dedicated to research. A small cohort size in Masters in Biology and other master's program as well at Ashoka helps students learn the best, or rather in a more intimate way from their tutors, from their faculty, because this teachers to student ratio is not skewed. So a cohort size of say 10 to 20, or maybe 25, depending on the quality of students that we get, would allow the students to actually access the faculty in a very detailed way, which would not be possible for a large class. Holistic development is at the core, as I was mentioning, of liberal arts education, that you would develop ideas, you will understand everything in this case of biology, to be able to narrow down on a smaller aspect of biology, which you will specialize in. Now talking about the Department of Biology, which actually hosts the MSc Biology program. Here we engage in, so here are 20 faculties, about 20 faculties constitute the Department of Biology, the faculty strength, and then there are students at various levels of undergrad, ASP, PhD, and master's. So we engage in intellectual curiosity towards fostering interdisciplinary activities. We take multidimensional approaches to study biology across various scales, which may range from single molecule studies to whole organism study, and further up to ecosystem study. So at various scales of biology. But again, each faculty has his or her own niche of studying. But if you look at the department as a whole, there's a whole range of activities going on. Renowned faculty, as I told you, like every other department of Ashoka, the faculty in biology are world-class. They hold various awards, including the highest award in Indian sciences, which is Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award. The head of the department is actually a Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar awardee. I hold a research grant, which is the largest possible individual research grant in India. And there are many more faculties who hold very large research grants and other accolades. We run 4 programs, and master's being the one that you are interested in this webinar. So it's a 2-year program. It's customizable and research intensive. So before we go to the tenets of the master's program, I'd like to give you a flavor of the thematic areas that we do research in. As I'm talking about research because the master's biology program is a research intensive program. So we study, as I mentioned, from single molecules to ecosystem through all these themes that you are seeing here: biophysics, biochemistry, structural biology, that will include single molecule studies, behavior, ecology, and evolution, which is basically organismal biology and ecosystem. We study cell development and molecular biology in the core detailed manner. We do computational and mathematical biology, which is very, very important for biology, for today's biology. You cannot do serious research without understanding the quantitative principles of biology. And all these thematic areas actually contribute in understanding diseases. We actually work on various diseases like cancer, rare diseases, cardiometabolic disorders, antimicrobial resistance. Diabetes is actually within cardiometabolic disorders. And this list is not comprehensive. Any disease where, even a master's student brings interest in can be looked into in a master's thesis, because we are interested in the fundamental biology and how the fundamental biological principles play in any disease is just a matter of perspective. We also do cross-departmental activities, which is, again, at the core of Ashoka's ethos. We collaborate with physics, we collaborate with environmental sciences, we collaborate with chemistry, history, computer science, psychology. History is an interesting collaboration that biology has. So biology contributes to the genomics effort in understanding archaeology of India. So genomics is actually biology, right? So history of sciences is also an interesting area that we want to expand on. Biology and other sciences would want to expand on with the Department of History. So for details of MSc program in biology, it's, as I told you, it's a 2 years program, like in many other places. The 2 years are, though, divided distinctly into course curriculum-based program for the first year, and the second year is completely research based. So there are no courses one needs to take for the second year. The first year you will specialize. So first year has 2 semesters. Each year actually has 2 semesters. So the first semester of first year you are learning various things in a core manner. So there are mandatory courses. Choice of electives are very minimal in the first semester of first year. Then second semester, actually, you are expanding on that. You are learning more of, again, through classroom lectures. You're learning more of electives. The electives could be from Department of Biology or beyond, which cross talk with biology, or cross-listed with biology. And you are choosing those electives, and you are getting introduced to research by doing, short projects. So that's second semester. And first semester and second semester of the first year actually help you build your own interests. So basically, you're not coming in with for doing a specialization. You may have it in your mind, but it's not declared. But once you understand your interests through the first 2 years, first 2 semesters in the first year, you're basically developing your specialized area. And then second year, you jump into research in that specialized area. So the research can be done in academia or industry. It can be done within Ashoka or outside Ashoka, as per the student's interest and other logistics allowing. So this is a little more detailed in a bulleted manner of what I just said. I'll read out for you for more clarity. So it's a 2-year program with 4 semesters with mandatory residences. Since it's a research-based program, the residency is mandatory. Ashoka provides residency. It may not be within the campus, but then it's somewhere very close to the campus where shuttles ply, back and forth shuttles ply, and then you come to Ashoka campus with those shuttles to attend classes and do your research. As I mentioned, it's a small cohort of students. When I write here motivated students, that means during our selection process, we actually gauge the motivation of the applicants. Because it's a customizable course, we do not, and it's a course where we aren't spoon feeding, we want the students to be motivated to learn, to be motivated to design their own specialization. If that motivation is there, we will act as facilitators to make the students reach where they want to go. So that's our idea here. So it's customizable specialization from a wide range of elective courses within and outside the department. So you can take any course that is cross-listed with biology and outside the department. Say computer science is offering a course and it's cross-listed with biology, you can take that. Math is offering a course outside biology, you can take that. History is offering a course, say history of science, you can take that. There is another option, which is not common in India, which is auditing option. Courses normally you take for credits, right? Auditing option is you won't earn credits. but you will take all the classes. You will audit the classes. You will take all the lectures and follow the auditing requirements for each class. For each class, each course may have separate auditing requirements. So basically, you are learning without even the pressure of exams in that course. So basically, it's just for the sake of learning, and there are no limits of what you can or cannot audit, and that's across Ashoka. Same for MSc Biology program. So currently, our students have audited or are auditing various courses beyond the department. So guidance from guidance from assigned graduate advisory committee is a very important point, because you are customizing your specialization, which will be declared in your transcript after you graduate. That has to be a little guided, because we do not want you to go astray. Okay, we want you to do make educated choices. We want to make sure that your courses that you are designing are coherent. One is helping you learn the other better, and not really scattered. If they are scattered, you won't be able to declare or even think of what you are specializing on, right? So the Graduate Advisory Committee, GSE, helps each student make their curriculum coherent, so that they are able to declare a specialization. There is a mandatory 2-week preparatory boot camp, which could be on mathematics or biology, depending on the student's background. This will be even before the semester starts. So the students who have been accepted to the program, they will be required to come in 2 weeks before the semester to actually do this boot camp, so that all the students are kind of leveled up or down, if you will, so that they are able to now sit in the same class and learn the same way. But still, there will be, because our eligibility, which I'll come to, expands from math to hardcore biology. We want all the students to start from the same level. So whatever they don't know, they want to learn that and then start at the same level. A biology student may want to learn more of math. A math student may want to learn more of biology. A physics student may want to learn more of biology. So depending on the makeup of the class, we design the boot camp so that we brush up on our previous knowledge, as well as learn new things and open our minds to learning more new things going forward in our 2-year masters. Okay. So as I mentioned again, year 1 involves mandatory and elective lecture courses, and the second semester, as I mentioned, involves short research projects of your choice, so that you get started at the end of the first year with research. And then you are ready with your lab practices and everything to do your thesis project for the second year, which is year 2. All thesis, there is no classroom course required. But again, if you are on campus, you are taking courses, you're auditing courses, you are free to do that. But if you go outside the campus, you don't have to do any of the classroom lecture courses. Optional summer courses are there, as offered by Ashoka and many other places. So as I say, optional. There is no requirement for anybody to take the summer courses, but we would encourage everybody to get involved in some activity or the other, or you may want to take a break in your summer. So that's up to you. But as I said, we definitely want to encourage students take some optional summer courses, which will help their career in some way. I opened the chat box here for whatever reason. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So talking about eligibility now. The program is a master's program, right? So anybody who's done BSc in natural sciences is eligible to apply with a minimum of 55% or GPA of 7 out of 10 as given by your previous institute. There is no natural sciences would mean anything, basically, math, physics, chemistry. Even technical degrees are considered, 4-year technical degrees of veterinary sciences or pharmacy, agriculture, BTech in any subject, all are eligible to apply within the 10+2 +3 or 4 system. It is open to any nationality. We have international students in our program already. Any nationality can apply, and there will be arrangements made depending on the nationality if needed. There would be a requirement of national eligibility test score from either JEJABLES or JAM or JNU Biotech. These are, most of you may know, these are national eligibility tests that you would take at the end of your undergrad. And we would want those scores from you. And applicants who do not have those scores, there are separate arrangements made for them. But applicants who have those scores, we would screen those, we would include those scores in our screening to actually select the top 95th percentile who will be called for the interview. The applicants who do not have the scores, many of the international candidates who do not have those, and many of you may not have even written those, we would arrange for you our own test, which will be designed by Ashoka Biology faculty. That would be a proctored online test that you will sit on. And we will actually consider those test scores for you as a replacement for the national eligibility test scores that other applicants may have provided. Okay. An important thing to remember is when we offer, when you're accepted to the program, through all those selection processes, which I will tell you a little more about in the next slide. The offer of admission will be only provisional until the final undergrad's transcripts have been provided to Ashoka. Without having the transcript received in our office, we won't be able to finalize the offer. So the admissions process goes like this. You will apply through the portal, which is open now. Then your national eligibility test score that you will provide in the portal will be considered, or you will sit for an online entrance examination. Either or. Then an evaluation committee actually will look at various things that are required in your application, including your SOP, which we can talk about, which is statement of purpose, your interest, your recommendation letters, your test scores, and your CGPA or percentage marks from previous tests. And then the 95th percentile, so the top 5% maybe actually will be selected for interview. And we will interview a good pool of students, and we will only take 1/3 of them if we like them, right? That's very important to know here, because we are looking for students who can drive their own specialization. There is no fixed number of seats here. If we like the students, and if we think that the students will be able to, take advantage of the course curriculum that we are providing, we will go for that, of course, within a certain limit, because we want to keep the cohort size small. And of course, decision letters will be provided to them. And after that, there is a need-based financial aid application, which is very important for you to consider only when you have received an acceptance letter. And the need-based financial aid office will ask for documents from you, various documents, to evaluate how much financial aid you qualify for. And that's optional because you don't have to, right? And it is need-based because it is only for the applicants or rather the accepted applicants who really need it. And how much they need will be decided by the financial aid office. Currently, we have almost 50% of the cohort covered by some aid or the other. And interviews are basically online. It's a short interview, a 10-minute interview after, of the top 5% of the students that are shortlisted. And the interview tests candidates' drive, motivation, and potential to work in a research-intensive setting. So that's what I was trying to mention when I said that we will, whether we like you or not, that's what we mean by your motivation, your drive, and whether you will be able to fare in a research-intensive setting. This year, the application portal opened on December 1st. March 31st, it's closing. April 23rd is the assessment date. May, we interview. And the last day of May, we actually send out the letters. The website will have the SOP guidelines. A statement of purpose is not many things, but only some things. That is very distinctly mentioned in the MSc Biology website. Please consider those seriously before you write and submit your SOPs. Of course, 2 letters of recommendations will be required. That is also there in your application portal. Fee structure is there in the application portal. Financial aid details are there in the application portal, and then there are extra links for you to get started with your application now. So I have finished my presentation here and would like to take questions.
Yeah, Professor, shall I start going through some of the questions?
Yes. So I don't know. Is my face showing, or I'm all in dark?
You are visible to some extent, but there's a little bit of a dark cast.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to make some light arrangements here. Hold on.
Okay.
Is this better now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Professor, so the first question is related to the entrance exam pattern. So what sort of preparation would be needed for the entrance exam? What sort of a paper pattern would it be? And is there any sample paper that students can refer to?
Yeah, good question. So we will test on, so if you guys are aware of the JEJBuild setup, so we usually test students on the JEJBuild setup. There'll be questions on math, there'll be questions on biology, there'll be questions on physics, there'll be questions on chemistry, and there'll be questions which are general. And all the CS kind of questions are put actually in the general category. JEJBuild score tests on 4 categories, we test on 5. And they'll be equally divided. But it won't be biology heavy, it won't be chemistry heavy, it won't be math heavy. They'll be equally divided on all these 4 topics. And they'll be all multiple choice questions.
The next question is about the interdisciplinarity of the courses. And it says, would you be able to elaborate a little bit more on the interdisciplinary courses in the context of the MSc program?
Right. So when I say interdisciplinarity, I mean you can do a combination of physics and biology. You can do a combination of math and biology. It is all on your orientation. For example, let me give you a sense of numbers. So if you know of Fibonacci series, right? I don't know if if you have come across the Fibonacci series, which is a math sequence where it's a sequence of numbers. Basically, the third number is basically a sum of the first two numbers. Okay, it starts from 0. And Fibonacci series is a very interesting concept in marrying arts and sciences. So anything that physically looks good actually follows something called golden ratio, which relates to the Fibonacci series. And physically looks good is basically an appeal of art, right? So if you say want to look at something in biology, some number in biology, and the mathematical principles behind it, right? How those numbers come about, then it's basically a question of biology and math, right? So then you would take some biology courses. You would take maybe some biology courses where number counting happens. Not all biology is basically quantitative, but you will take quantitative biology courses, and then you will do research with, say, co-mentor between a math and a biology faculty. Okay. Same thing can happen for chemistry. Same thing can happen for CS. Same thing can happen for physics. And same thing can happen within biology. There could be interdisciplinarity as well, right? So you could do an eco-evo meaning ecology, evolution, and ecosystem, and molecular biology, right? In ecology evolution, you are basically not looking at molecules, right? But that's the core principle of that field. And in molecular biology, you are not looking at organismal principles. But if you want to marry these two, you can still do it because the faculties are available and the questions are basically endless. It's just a matter of getting to the right question with the right faculty, and there's opportunities out there. That's why we want drive in the students to be able to have the courage to ask these questions with the help of the faculty and break ceilings. So that's what it's an ambitious program, and we want students with drive.
The next question is, after completing the MSc Bio program, what are the specializations or areas that a student can get into for a PhD?
Okay, all right. So since it's a research intensive program, you're basically, as I was telling you, getting a flavor of PhD itself within 2 years, right? You'll do some course curriculum and you'll do some research. Now, if you want to take it forward as a PhD project, the same project, if you want to take it forward, if you're doing your research with Ashoka faculty, you will have to go through the same PhD entrance or interview setup that other PhD applicants would do. But usually, since you are within Ashoka, you know what the faculties want and you have got trained within Ashoka, you possibly will fare. But we don't know. We haven't tried that yet. But then that option always remains open, right? So you say Niyati is basically going to graduate in what, 24? Niyati?
Yeah. Yes.
So Niyati is going to graduate in 24 with a thesis with me, actually, and in collaboration with another scientist in INSTEM, Bangalore, a stem cell research institute. Now, Niyati, if she wants to continue the same project, with Ashoka or with INSTEM, then she's got a head start, right? So then she can apply in INSTEM, she can apply at Ashoka and other places also, right? So that's always open. So because you're doing 1 year of serious research, it unofficially becomes an integrated, if you're doing within Ashoka, if you're staying back in Ashoka, getting accepted through the PhD program, it unofficially becomes an integrated master's and PhD, right? But again, I mean, there's no binding. We did not want to keep it an integrated master's and PhD because we wanted for the students to decide that, right? If you want to take it forward, like take it forward in any other lab also. It does not have to be anywhere at Ashoka or anything that you were doing. But if you want to take advantage of that, you can make it an integrated PhD program, provided you actually come through the right channel, qualify everything that the PhD program requires you to.
The next question asks if internships are a part of the program and whether the university helps or assists with getting these internships.
When you say internship, do you mean the second year thesis research or separate internship?
I think it means separate internships.
Okay, so if the internships are meant to be in summer, so, excuse me, you won't be able to have time, or excuse me, you are not required or even encouraged to do internship during the course curriculum, because it's very intensive. You can actually spend time in the lab and volunteer and all of that. But if you go out somewhere and do rigid courses, that may take out time from your own curriculum, and you may not be able to do the main job, right? Or our main learning may suffer. So you're not encouraged to do that. Or rather, I would say you are disallowed to do that. But if you want to do summer internship, there are various opportunities that we provide to the students. The students are also, very, very proactive in getting their own information and sharing with us and their peers. And there's no restriction. What we will facilitate in whichever way we can, and we have been. Another smart way, or rather intelligent way in the matter of saving time, of using the summer internship, is to get your project, thesis project, started in summer, right? So many would do that. So that's a total integration of your master's and going forward, if you want to make that your PhD, provided you qualify everything. So they would start right after their second semester in the summer, straight with the question. And then there are opportunities actually to even get started earlier, as Niyati is doing with the short projects, right? Even in the end, in the second semester, you can get started with a little bit of research of the question you already chose. And then you continue that in summer. And then you continue that in the second year, right? So you have a long time, delving on the question, generating data. And now if you want to go forward and take it to your PhD, your ultimate PhD becomes very short. So that is an integrated master's and PhD in a sense. But internship is completely open, and Ashoka will do whatever Ashoka can to facilitate that.
So what is the scope of the MSc Biology program, and what are the career prospects after doing an MSc Biology at Ashoka, as say compared to other universities?
Right. So as MSc Biology at Ashoka is a customizable program and a research intensive too, because we believe that any field you go, whether it's PhD, academic teaching, or even industry, research is very, very important. Research makes you think about things critically. It gives you a tool to evaluate things scientifically. Even if you're doing humanities, you need scientific way of doing things, right? Science is just not a subject that you study, like in math, biology, physics, and all of that. It's an approach. Science is an approach. So research is also an approach. So we believe, since the students are allowed to customize their learning, we believe that they will be able to do so based on their orientation, whether they want to go to industry, whether they want to do teaching, whether they want to do science communication, whether they want to do research, and anything that you may want to design for yourself as a field, right? So that is the reason we want to keep it customizable. The industry thing is well within control that way, because the research allows you to even pick up a whole year-long internship in industry. And the industry, of course, the industry will evaluate you. They have their own requirement. You have to satisfy that. You have to be above a certain CGPA that they want. You have to qualify in their interview. You have to develop the knowledge base that they want, and Ashoka will facilitate that even through, ISM, independent study modules, if the industry wants. And then you go to an industry and they give you the internship opportunity. If you fare well, they will absorb you in the industry. Okay, so there is already in Niyati's batch, which is the first cohort, we have students who are interested in industry, and we are ready to plug them in the right industry. It's up to the student whether they are able to live up to the expectation or requirement or not. Yeah. So opportunities are vast, and there are many new things that you will get opportunity to try out. Say creative writing, right? Science writing, or rather try out whether you can do science communication, which is really a budding field. History of science, whether you are interested in that, whether you're interested in archaeology, right? In genomics supporting archaeology. So all these things you will get chances to try out and then decide for yourself how you want to go. And as I said, Ashoka will facilitate every step of the way, but the drive has to come from the student.
In the same thread, what does the placement process look like, and what sort of companies and industries are usually coming for placements?
So it's not a formalized placement opportunity that we have designed or even thought of, because we want to keep it flexible. We want to first gauge the interest of the student. We will, so the GSE, as Niyati already knows, so the GSE basically gauges the interest of the student and then reaches out. So we have some interest already from the companies, and then we try to marry the interest of the student with the interest of the company, because we do not want you to fail. We do not want you to go to the company and then fail their interview, right? We want your interest to be the primary. And of course, if that matches with the company's interest, then we will do that matchmaking and then help you get into the company. So again, we are helping in a customized way, because we do not want to put all of you in individual boxes. We want you to design your boxes, your boundaries, and then we will find the match for you. That's the idea.
Does Ashoka also invite guest lecturers and speakers and eminent scientists for sessions and seminars?
Niyati, you take this question.
Ashoka most definitely does. And I think in the last 1.5 semesters almost that I've been here, the sort of exposure that I've gotten in terms of the seminars and the speakers that they've invited are really, really great. And I think one of the key highlights is Professor Harold Varmus's visit in December, who is also a Nobel laureate. So yeah, Ashoka most definitely invites really, really good speakers and scientists for seminars here.
Yeah, so we don't promise a Nobel laureate every year, Niyati, but but yes, I mean there are lines of. Sometimes you may get tired. Sometimes you won't find time to attend the seminars. There are a lot of seminars happening all the time, and then sometimes they're in very short notice. So that's why it becomes difficult to attend. But then in the second semester, there is a seminar course which all of you would have to attend. That's part of the curriculum. So you'll have to attend to get credit. And that is meant to, and these are seminars which are basically guest seminars, and some of our internal as well. Like today, it was an internal seminar. So this is for you to encourage attending seminars, even if you are not inclined to. This is for you to encourage and then force you to attend the seminar so that you can take advantage of that. And there are points that you get, Niyati knows, out of asking questions to the speaker. So engage with the speaker, right? So that it's not only sitting and listening. It's basically thinking about what you're learning and then reaching out to the speaker to share your thoughts or even clarify your thoughts.
Is it possible to complete the program in less than 2 years?
No. The start point and the end point is fixed, but there's a whole lot of possibility to start your research very early as the second semester, which Niyati has done. So yes, no, you will get your your degree only after 2 years.
I think we can take maybe 1 or 2 more questions and slowly wrap up after that.
Okay.
So yeah, is there any research that has been done between a faculty and student, that published research that the audience can go read and look up?
Yes, so you can, faculty and the students, you mean master students?
I'm not sure. It just said
Is
student and faculty research.
So yes, so you can read up. So if you go to the Department of Biology website at Ashoka's under Ashoka's banner, then you will see, you will look up. So most of the faculties have their own website, and then their publications are there. And many of the faculties would have links also to the publication. You can look up their work, and in those publications, some of them would be even undergrad students. So I won't be able to take credit there in my publications because I just moved in last year. But in my group currently, I can tell you as an example. The publication that we are working on to go out for review end of this year has one undergrad who's from computer science department, has one graduate student and one postdoc, and one mathematics faculty who will actually also come in with another undergrad student. So if a master student was plugged into that project, then the master students also will be an author, will contribute in that project. So this is a very standard thing at Ashoka. So the publications of the faculty are there on the website. Whether you will be able to identify if it was student or not, that I cannot tell. That is not clarified in any publication. It's not required to do that. Yeah.
I think with that, we can slowly wind up. So thank you all so much for joining today's webinar, and I hope you all enjoyed being a part of our discussion. Before we wrap up the session, we would be very grateful if you provided us some feedback on how the session went. And you can find the form for the feedback in the chat box. And we'd also like to urge you to apply for the program at the earliest, because the deadline is on 31st of March, which is fast approaching. You can also find the link for the same in the chat box. If you have any other queries regarding the MSc Biology program, please feel free to write to the email ID provided on the screen. It is msc_biology@ashoka.edu.in. Once again, I thank our speakers for taking the time out for participating in this discussion. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the session. Please take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Niyati. Bye.